Hi, I am Tony Russo, and in this episode of Brief Introduction, we are going to meet Brent Thorson, the Client Success and Growth Manager at Life Art by Terrybear. He presented actually yesterday as this comes out, but recently, hopefully by the time you listen to this, at the Kates-Boylston Cremation Innovations virtual event. It was held on May 20th, and the reason I tell you that is because everything he touches on in this episode, he expands on in the webinar. There is a link to the webinar in the show notes, and if you click on it, you can see the entire event. The webinar went great, and the video is available right now if you'd like to click over to it, but I'm going to let Brent introduce himself, and we'll go from there. So welcome to the show, Brent.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for having us, and we're just really excited to talk about cremation. I've been with Terrybear, Urns, and Memorials for a few years now, and been in this industry for about 13 plus. And from my experience, we all know as cremation continues to rise from about the 60% point at this point across the entire country to 82% in 2045. We know every funeral home and cremation business wants more calls, and it's just that simple. Many funeral homes and cremation businesses don't really know how to position themselves, though. We know that service is so good. And when you ask a funeral home, why do people come to you? And the answer is, we're the best in service. I was at a New York cremation presentation recently, and they did a survey of local families in their area, and I was shocked by this, but they were surveying people, and I think it was 70% of the survey that they put out didn't know that their local funeral home offered cremation. And when you hear something like that, and you're in this industry, you're like, really? But I think that's true. Every funeral home knows that they offer great service, and that's what we focus on. That's how we keep families coming back. But there's also that beforehand portion, right? Like, where are families finding you, and what is the messaging you're putting out into the world? So, there's a little bit of a gap there, and I think we need to do and be better about that. And so, we're working with you all to kind of present some of those options. How are you reaching out to those cremation families? Are you having the right products? Is your website perfected, so that when they search, families know that you offer cremation? So yeah, and things are changing today. The internet's kind of changing how we all view things.
Do you find that there are still people who are skeptical about just cremation? Is that a thing that still happens nowadays?
Not in my experience. I mean, most funeral professionals in this industry know where that cremation rate is headed. So I think we all take it pretty seriously, but I don't know if we take what I just said as serious as you should. So I think we're, funeral home, if you ask them, what are you known for in your local area? Well, we're known for best service. And that's what they often say. And that's great. That's important. But are you the best known for cremation service? So that's an example of the difference in approaching it. And we know there's opportunity. I mean, just from being involved with the marketing side of what we do, there are, I think it's 502,900 people search on Google every single month for cremation services in the USA. So that's over 12 million people that are on Google looking for that every single year. So that's a lot of people. And in my presentation, I want to break down that a little bit. And I also want to make it local. We're going to dive into maybe some tools and ways that you can see how many people are searching for services within your local markets too. So I want to make it relatable to your business locally as well.
One of the things that it's breaking news now, but it won't be breaking news when this comes out. I covered the Carriage and the SCI earnings reports, and particularly SCI Direct had a terrible month for them, right?
Sure.
But memorialization was up 10%. So their sales were up 6%, but the add-ons were up 10. And
Right.
it's part of this program that both companies have to, you have to make sure that you go beyond, like cremation is not final disposition.
No.
And they're doing very well financially. And I think that
Right.
that's something I want to amplify if I can.
Yeah. And that's what we want to, we want to bridge that gap for locations. I mentioned how many people are searching just for cremation services, but if you break it down, personalized funerals, just that, searching for more personalized options, it's kind of addressing what you're talking at. I think there are about 300,000 plus search a month for personalized funerals. And then the other stat is eco-friendly. That is on the rise. So the NFDA stat, I think, is somewhere like 60% of families who are searching for funeral options search for eco-friendly options. So, those are all the stats that we all need to take and think about how we're approaching that. And I want to, hopefully address some of that and what I'm going over.
When you talk about this, are there questions that you tend to get? Like, are you like, when this presentation is over, these 3 questions are going to be on everyone's mind, or whatever?
For sure. The first one would be, how are we doing? Right. So I want people to walk away from what I go over and say, boy, we're not doing enough, or we're doing enough, or, everyone's on that spectrum. I get it. There
Right.
are some locations who are addressing it directly and thoroughly. And then the second one would be, what can we do better? And how do we improve getting our firm as the choice for cremation in our area? And then the third one, for me, I'm with a product company. And so we partner with places to understand maybe the way you're presenting these things, or how you can change positioning yourself with cremation, can help families make a choice easier and lead to more engagement with them for memorial services.
And that's the other part that I like to remind people of. One of the things, one of my pet projects is I love to cover these, unclaimed remains stories. There's always a really cool story about it. And the unclaimed remains problem is one that can be solved by taking this, not solved, but at least reduced by taking this one more step, by saying, okay, now we have to get something to put the remains in and complete this circle of mourning.
It's a challenge. I mean, I was just at Cana last year, and Robert Hunsaker was giving his presentation. I think it's 29 point whatever million urns are at home, and that's a challenge. I mean, that's certainly something we need to focus on. And that there again, that goes back to what I said. Let's say a family has that urn at home, and 70% of families don't know that the local funeral home could help them out. Then how do we address that? And so that's the key to connecting and solving some of those problems in our industry. And really it has to do with the families and helping them make a better choice for service. And cremation can be so many other things, and you can explore so many different ways to approach it. So there's opportunity. I think that's the clear other takeaway I would say, is I want people to understand there's opportunity in what we do with cremation.
Excellent. And that's all I have for you, unless you have something else for me. Is there something I should have asked and didn't, or something I could have said and didn't?
No, that's great. Thanks, Tony.
Brief Introduction is a Kates-Boylston production. It was written and edited by me, Tony Russo. Please subscribe wherever you're listening now. If you are listening on your computer, grab up your phone and open the podcatcher of your choice. If you have an Android phone, that is probably Spotify. If you have an iPhone, there is an Apple Podcasts app. Open either one of them and you will have an opportunity to type Funeral Service Insider. If you type Funeral Service Insider, we're the only one with that name, and we will come back and you can follow us there and get an update every time we put out a new show, which in this case is Friday. So I will check back with you in just a couple of days. Until then, take care.